Hey, so today I'll teach you 50 meaningful proverbs and how to use them. You may have seen my other video, 50 British English expressions, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Now, today we'll learn a lot of proverbs. And what is a proverb? A proverb is similar to an idiom, and it's a short phrase that typically gives some kind of life advice to the person listening to it, and sometimes they can be a little bit abstract. Now, the difference between proverbs and idioms is that idioms are more abstract. So with idioms, sometimes you really can't understand what they mean unless you've learnt them before. Whereas with proverbs, you often can work out what they mean. And also, proverbs nearly always give a little bit of life advice in them, whereas idioms don't always do this. So, let's crack on. So, number one is actions speak louder than words. And this just means what you do means a lot more than what you say. For example, Sarah promised to help, but John actually showed up and did the work. Actions speak louder than words. Okay, number two is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And this means that it's worth having something that is for sure than having something that isn't for sure. It's a risk. You might not actually have this thing, whereas this is 100% guaranteed. For example, I was tempted to invest in that new startup, but I decided to stick with my current job. After all, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. And you can download this PDF document in the description below. So you can, as you're following this video, you can write on the paper, you can write your own sentences, you can pause the video as you wish. Number three is all good things come to those who wait. And this just means that patience is a virtue, which is also idiomatic or maybe even a proverb. And it basically means that you should be patient and good things come to those who are patient. So I just thought of another one, and that is nothing worth having comes easy. So everything that is worth having is difficult to get. Anyway, for number three, an example. I know you're eager to start your own business, but take your time and plan carefully. Remember, all good things come to those who wait. Number four is better late than never. And I feel like I might have made an idiom video on my Instagram about this phrase or idiom or proverb before. But anyway, this is what I mean. Sometimes they're very similar. Some people may define it as an idiom. Some may define it as a proverb. But anyway, it's definitely a phrase. And so, for example, I know you missed the deadline, but it's better late than never. Just make sure it doesn't happen again. Number five, fortune favors the bold. This means that you need to take some risks to get ahead in life or to do something worth doing. For example, despite the risks, Sarah decided to start her own business. After all, fortune favors the bold. Number six, honesty is the best policy. You can probably guess the meaning of this. It just means you should always be honest. It's the best way to be. For example, even though it might be tempting to lie, remember that honesty is the best policy. 7. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Now, I'm not sure if I agree with this one, but anyway, it's an interesting proverb, and it basically means that you should try and keep an eye on what your enemies are doing so that you can stay ahead of them and compete. For example, even though I don't trust him, I still keep him around. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Number 8 is laughter is the best medicine. And this means that laughter is always really useful for whatever situation. For example, whenever I'm feeling down, watching a comedy always cheers me up. Laughter is the best medicine. Number 9, make hay while the sun shines. This means that you should make the most of a good thing while you can. So it doesn't have to be literal, like in the example. It could also be figuratively used. For example, you're doing really well in your job, in your sales job, and you're making lots of commission. I suggest you work even more, make more commission, and make hay while the sun shines.